All right, so we are on to the two main events. Let's get the countdown going. It's gonna be fun. Uh, let's start with the Simone Biles. I think I want to talk more about the Omi and the Hellcat than Simone Biles. So I think we'll start with Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens to begin with. And then we'll do Omi and the Hellcat afterwards because I got more to say about that than this. But we're going to get right into it. So this has been making rounds for the last day or two. And John and Simone Biles. And we're going to talk about how I titled this in a little bit. But the main thing about it is this okay? And this is a lot about power dynamics within a relationship and how it really works. And how, for me, the media and just social constructs are really, they're jealous of people are jealous of relationships. And before we get into watching the video that, caused all this stir, I just want to say we're seeing a lot of people that are upset with other people being happy within their relationships. And it's pretty disturbing to say the least. Um, People enjoy watching relationships happen, but then they want to see them fail almost immediately afterwards. And that's kind of what we're seeing with Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens, or Jonathan Owens and Simone Biles, however you want to label them. 1A, 1B, I mean, that's up to you to decide. But anyways, let's go into the interview in question and see what we got. So we'll go back to the beginning.
For a couple of days, man, and it's like she pops up, and I'm like, let's see what this is. Gymnastics. I ain't never, I never really paid attention to gymnastics, so it piqued my curiosity, So I'm like, okay, I'll see what's up. I swiped her, and it said we matched, so I'm just like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna see what's up. So I go do my workout, and I come back, and I get I had some likes on my Instagram, and I'm like,
I just want to go back to her face real fast. Like, look at that face. Look how in love she is with this guy. Um, I like it. I like it. I've had this for me with throughout my life, within my life, and I know what it feels like. And I know a lot of guys don't get it because on this situation, and when we're talking about power dynamics within relationships, you're seeing there's extremes on both sides, from the red pillars and the blue pillars, the women that are unmarried, that are feminists, the women that are married and conservative, or however you want to put it. And I'm in between all of it because I'm in a weird void where I'm not really dealing with the issues that either side is dealing with. And I never really have. I've had the things that a lot of guys wish they had, and I've experienced a lot of different situations to the point where I don't really agree with either side that's extreme on on this, and it's just kind of crazy. But I just want to say I really appreciate how much she's in love with him and all of that. Now I do know that she can feel like this today and tomorrow she can be the complete opposite. I get that part, but we're living in a moment at this point, so I'm not going to worry about what's going to happen in the future, and I'm just going to talk about what's happening right now. What's happening right now is she is extremely in love with him, and he doesn't have to show it in the same way that she does for it to be true on both sides. Period.
hey, I'm like, oh, this might be. I'm like, okay.
What is up with this guy though? Hold on, man. What is this? What is it? Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Hold on, I got my chain on. I ain't got my chain on. I can't pull the chain out like it. Yo, what is up? What let me do in his face? Is that it? Is that it? This guy is way too involved right now. He's loving this, man. Shout out to him, man. And shout out to if you want to watch the full interview, because I am just watching a clip and I want that to be understood. I did not watch the full interview myself. I have watched longer clips than this with more variation to it to kind of better understand what's going on. This is a short clip and it's kind of hyper focused on the controversy part of it, which is what we're talking about. But there is a whole entire interview, and go to the pilot or the pivot. I said the pilot. Go to the pivot to watch it. All right. And support their platform because they're giving us content to be able to, react to everything that's going on. So shout out to them and everybody at the pivot that put out this content.
I'm like, okay. So I see what's up, and then I still waited. I'm like, man, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till I, take a shower and everything. Then I come back to my phone, and then she messages me on the app, like, hey, you know what I mean? And I'm, man, that's up, man. This gotta be fake. Like, I don't know. Just, I didn't know who she was at the time, but like the first thing that I saw was that she.
See, this is where a lot of the controversy came in, where he was saying he didn't know who she was. I I I agree that he doesn't know who she is. Now it did come out that earlier within his life, like earlier on Twitter, I think it was like 2010 or 13, way earlier, he knew who Gabby Douglas was. And Gabby Douglas is also in the gymnastics field. And so he knows who she is. So not knowing who Simone Biles is kind of sounds like cap, but then it doesn't. And here's why. Because we're in a bubble. And I spoke about this earlier in the show. We are in a bubble. Like Mr. Beast, I know who he is only because I'm a content creator on YouTube. But when I just watched YouTube, when I wasn't a content creator, even had any ambitions to be a content creator, I had no idea who Mr. Beast was because that was not who came across my feed in any way, shape, or form. But he has diehard followers. He has like 1 billion subscribers on YouTube. I don't even know because, like I said, I don't really watch him, but he's extremely popular, but just not to me. And I could ask people that I know that don't know who the hell Mr. Beast is, but if you ask certain people, they'll be like, how don't you know who he is? There was a woman I was talking to that didn't know who Russell Westbrook was. And I was astonished. I'm like, you don't know who Russell Westbrook is? I literally wear his shoes when I play basketball. I got like every Russell Westbrook shoes, specifically the .4, .5s are my favorite ones. His .6s are, I don't like his .6s. I'm not going to say anything extremely bad about him, but I don't like him. But I was surprised when this woman said she didn't know who Russell Westbrook is. I'm like, he's super famous in the basketball realm, but she doesn't keep up with that. So for him not to know who Simone Biles is not something that I think he's lying about, honestly. Like I could ask, okay, let's put it like this. Cause you people, like people that are watching that are in athletics, you could ask me about a player in hockey, or I don't even say hockey. I keep up with hockey a little bit, but I have no idea at all who the best player in lacrosse is. I don't know. I don't know who the best bowler is in the world. And he's probably super famous. I don't know who the best volleyball player is at all. I have no idea. So, that's where you got to like realize that he's probably not lying about not knowing who she is. Now, after he matched with her, then he probably like figured out quickly who she was and put two and two together. But initially, just looking at her face, he probably didn't know. And I agree with that. I believe him 100%.
A bunch of followers. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, she got to be good. If I promise you, I'm a real life story. When she won the Olympics, I was in college, and we didn't have NBC, we didn't have Olympic channels, and we're in camp. We're in camp, late July, early August. So I'm not paying.
This guy is not just nobody either. He plays for the Green Bay Packers. He makes, I think I looked up his net worth at $1 million a year. He's probably made a little more, outside of that. He's probably worth probably like $2 to $5 million, give or take. And he's doing his own thing. Like he's very successful in his own right. Has he made more than Simone Biles? Is he more popular than her? No. Nobody knew who he was before this interview, including me. I watch football and I don't know who the hell he is. but that doesn't matter. And the thing about it is that what people don't realize is that there is there's a point where the money doesn't matter anymore. So let's say you make 100 million, but you date somebody that makes 150 million. Yeah, they have more money than you and maybe a little more clout, but it becomes insignificant at that point. It's no different than somebody that makes $60,000 and you make 50,000. That 10,000 is actually a big deal. They can do a lot more than you with that 10,000, but they also can't. It doesn't really separate you guys by that much, or you two, I should say. So that's kind of where I'm like, all right, I think he's worth, like, I looked it up. He's worth around like 2 million, I think, somewhere around there, and they have Simone Biles worth about 16 million. It's not a big difference. It's nothing for Simone Biles to be like, this guy is not on my level. He's not as important. And honestly, like, the money doesn't make you more important than somebody. It doesn't make you smarter than them in a sense, because doing gymnastics has nothing to do with IQ. You can be the dumbest person on the planet and be able to perform in gymnastics. Same way that they talk about football players. Football players are dumb. Boxers are dumb. A lot of them are as far as IQ goes. They're smart within their sport, but they're not smart as far as can they do an algebraic occasion better than a high schooler? Probably not. They're better at boxing. So that's a lot of it. And I think that's where we're getting it confused, where we're putting her money and status over who she is as a human and behind closed doors. Behind closed doors, these two are equal as far as that. And she looks at him as, somebody that she really looks up to because she's not thinking about her money at all. Last point on this. Let's say you took 10 people and you separated them off from one group makes under 50,000. One group makes 50,000. Three of them makes 50,000. Three of them make 500,000 and three of them make a million plus. And then you got one, just throw one in there that makes any amount of money, right? And you put them in a house and they all have the same things in the room. They all have access to the same things within the house, and they all are wearing white t-shirts, black shorts, and blue shoes. And that's it. What separates those 10 people in the house? Nothing. Now, when you go out the house, one might get into a Honda Civic and one might get into a Bugatti. But in the house, they're all the same. And that's how she's looking at it. You're not spending your time out at the club where, the majority of the time out at the club where he's getting all this attention or she's getting all this attention. It's not happening. Like, and I think Simone Biles is like, doing her thing. Oh, I did want to speak about this last part. So, I'll finish this and then I'll go into that. Let's go to this last part of the interview.
So I never would have had a moment to where I would have watched, like,
Jonathan, I'm gonna let you finish your story, man. Continue.
But like I was saying, man, she messaged me. This was like a Tuesday, and we texting back and forth, and then we hung out Friday, man. We couldn't do much since COVID happened. Everything was shut down, so she came through down to Houston. She lived in the suburbs, so she had to drive about 45 minutes to me.
45 minutes to me.
Man,
so you was really the catch in.
He's trying to hype. That's Ryan Clark, isn't it? I think his name's Ryan Clark. He's trying to cut. Hey, that's a good interviewer though. You got to create some drama within the interview. So shout out to him. Here's the thing. Like, I've had this within my relationships. Women, if you're talking about let's just take celebrity status out of it, because most of us are not celebrities. Small percentage of the population. Just normal people. Women are usually going to have more clout and more exposure than the men that they're dealing with when you're just looking at a regular relationship, because women are more social creatures. it just is what it is. And men show way more attention to women than the opposite. Women don't show as much attention to men. So you can see like women having, I don't know, let's say, like, okay, matter of fact, I'll relate it to me personally, okay? We'll talk about me personally. I've had relationships, and I don't want to go just like specifically into my relationships, but I've had a relationship where the woman I was with made more money than me. And I wasn't bothered by it at all. Like, because there's a lot of women that make more money than men. Like, there's really nothing you can do about that. Like, what I'm gonna do, like, sit there and compete with her to make more money than her. The easier thing would be to just find somebody that makes less money than me that might not be the right person for me. You see what I'm saying? Because, okay, so she makes 3 times more than me, right? And we're in a relationship. So what are my options? To either be jealous of her that she makes more money than me, or I can fight tooth and nail to make more money than her, but I'm already comfortable no matter if I make more money than her or not, because money's not the issue within my life. It never has been. You know, could I have a chain that is 100,000 rather than a chain that's 4,000? That's the only difference. But do I feel better because my chain is bigger, or because my Rolex costs 50,000 instead of 5,000? Or, you know, I'm me personally, I'm into electronics. Like, I like having the latest technology. So that's a thing for me. But that's kind of like where it is. So um and that's why the secretary is just as important as the boss, because the secretary actually does just as much work as the boss, just doesn't have to take on the same responsibilities and have the same accountability. But a lot of times the secretary does more work than the boss does, honestly. And the boss will go to the secretary and be like, yo, what do you think? What do you have on this? And I've dealt with that like within, being an employee at companies where I'm on the floor with the people and the boss comes in, he just writes the checks. He has no idea what's even going on with this company. He's relying on me to let him know what's going on and letting him know what's going on within the culture. And then I can relay that information to him. And he has to trust me to be loyal and give him the correct information so he can make the right decisions throughout his company. And that's kind of where it is now. Not saying that I'm more important than the boss, but I have a high level of respect from him that everybody else may not see because of the position that he put me in. Let's see.
I always say we the men that catch, man. I always say we the catch, man.
Yeah, so she really booked you.
She did though.
Is what you're saying.
I was fighting it. I was fighting it.
So in truth, if I say this out loud, was Jonathan Owens ain't really want Simone Biles. Is what you're saying.
At the time, I'm not gonna say that.
That's what you're saying.
I was afraid. I was afraid to commit. I'm like, man, this is my 3rd year. You know, I'm trying to I'm like, it's kind of early. But like,
See, he's trying to, like, he's trying to gaslight the whole situation, and that's fine. That's his job as a, he's trying to, create those moments within the interview. But the thing is like, what he's saying is true. I mean, he's a young dude. I think the age, I forgot that part. Let me look real quick. I think I got it up already. Do I have it right here? I was looking at the salary. Yeah, he's 28 years old. Oh, he's 28 and she is 26. Okay, so they're around the same age. Oh, they only got married in 2023? So they only been married for like a year. Oh, so they were together for like 3 years before they even got married. That's a good timeline. That's a good timeline to me. But yeah, like, at 26, he and he's not. I mean, he's good. He can pretty much pick whoever he wants to at this point. He's a okay looking guy, whatever. Um, it's not like he's hurting or he's desperate for her. Is he getting with her for money? I really doubt it. Like people say, like, well, he's clouding up over her. I don't think he is. Like I doubt he's clouding up because he's with Simone Biles. Like, does he even care? People are saying he's jealous of her and all that. I just highly doubt it. Like I said, I've been with women that make more than me. We're in a different time. This is not the 1930s. It's not the 1940s. Men are not jealous of women because they make more than them. It's very, very common to see that. We're used to it on both sides. Women are used to making more money than men. That's why they're able to take men that make less money than them, because the money specifically does not make a difference. But red pillars will get upset and say, you need to take care of everything in your household. You need to pay for everything. And if you don't, you're not going to have control over your household and your woman's going to disrespect you. That is a lie. And I know it from personal experience because I've been through it. It does not matter if your woman makes more money than you. It matters how she feels about you and how you carry yourself as a person and as a man. That's it. The money does not matter. It doesn't. And I could be in a different situation, but I doubt I am. Like, just because I can't even go into it all. I have separate pages where I talk about separate things, so I'm not going to get into the specifics of the relationships I've been in, but I have proof that the money does not matter at all when it comes to how a woman feels about you deep down. It just doesn't. And I'm not going to explain it here, but I promise you it's the truth.
Like I said, man, it happened when you least expected. And we hung out, man. It was like we hit it off instantly. We just laughed the whole night.
Yeah. How's it? Go to the pivot and watch the whole interview. So a lot of the backlash, and actually, I'm gonna go into. I got it right here. This woman, I'm just gonna graze through this real quick because she kind of talked about how, like, the women were upset with how he was portraying their relationship dynamics to the world, kind of saying like, she was chasing him even though she's more successful than he is. The one thing I want to talk about though real quick before I get into this was this part. And that is the title that I put. And I put it like this for a reason. John and Simone Biles, as far as I know, she did not change her last name. Now, could that be from a standpoint of just, she makes more, or because her name is where she's getting her money at. The Biles name is important. They got married. She should be Simone Owens, or at least minimum Simone Biles Owens. But she's not. She's stuck with Simone Biles, which I think is a little bit strange. So, Simone might not be as gullible as y'all think. I'm just saying. But that's something that we'll figure out later on. So this woman right here, and shout out to her, she well, I'll show you her page real quick. I'll show you her page real quick. If I can make this correct again, since I messed it all up. Flying the plane. Fixing the plane while flying it is what's going on right here. Anyways, I wanted to highlight her YouTube page because so her name is Kimberly Nicole Foster. Just so y'all can see that right there. So you can check out her YouTube page. And this is just one that when I was looking up things, I seen her and she kind of had an opposing view. And she kind of was on the opposite side of everyone else. So I wanted to, and she was pretty conservative in what she said.
For the podcast, Owens revealed he had never paid attention to gymnastics, and when Biles made the first move, he had never heard of the 4-time Olympic gold medalist before.
Why we drink at the same time?
Angering people even further.
I did not plan that.
When host Ryan Clark asked Owens if he considered himself the catch in the relationship, Owens quickly agreed that he did. He revealed that he had also been, quote, afraid to commit. Literally had been on the app for a couple days, man, and it's like she pops up and I'm like, let me see who this is. I had never really paid attention to gymnastics, so it piques my curiosity.
She just don't get into no long shit, right?
Oh, okay.
God damn, y'all boys scared. Bro, as us pretty red dimes as we are, how in the hell did you pull Simone Biles? And I love this football talk, bro. I gotta get to it. I'm over here rubbing my knees. Hey, Chad, I wanted to tell him, he's talking about being looked over. Now when the right people look at you. You know what I'm saying? How did you do that, bro?
Man, it's really how she pulled me, man. That's the question.
Oh,
man.
Lord Jesus. Now you with Freddie. Now it's back. Now you
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, organic story, man. So I just got to Houston. I probably have been in Houston 7 months.
See, I don't know, man. That's the thing. That guy, and you remember I called him out a little bit earlier about how excited he was. He's too excited over Simone Biles, man. Like, she's a gymnast, man. Like, the same way, like, I get it. If I seen LeBron James, I'd be like, is that the ghost sound? I think that's the ghost sound they be making. I'm gonna be like, LeBron, you're that dude. But at the end of the day, I can't like be overly. He's still just a human being. So, would I be like, yo, can I get a flick and an autograph? Yeah, absolutely. He's done things that I appreciate and think that are great. Because I go out and compete on the basketball court and I know how difficult it is to do the things that he's doing. But he's doing something in a subset of everything else within life. He's not out there like, curing cancer patients or performing open heart surgery or teaching people complicated things to the point where we can have a better society. So that's where I'm kind of just like, if we're talking specifically about one thing, then yes, Simone Biles is great. But overall, she's still just doing a subset of things that make the world a better place. And just being a good gymnast is not something where you're like, oh my God, this is just the most incredible thing in the world. It's not, man. Like, that's why I try to, do different things within life that can better, the world. We should all leave this world better than when we came into it. And that should be the goal for everybody within life. That's just my opinion.
I was single at the time, so I'm just living, being me and myself. And COVID had just hit, but I had just went to Arizona, and one of my boys was like, hey, man, you got to check out this app, And I'm like, I'll check it out. Like, what it was called Raya at the time. So basically it's like a dating app, but, you have to go through certain, like, criteria to make sure that you're who you are. So literally have been on the app for a couple of days, man, and it's like she pops up, and I'm like, let me see who this is. Gymnastics, I ain't never...
So Raya, I don't know much about it, but basically what he's saying, it's kind of like Tinder or Bumble, but it's for celebrities. So you have to go through and prove that you're a celebrity to be on there, or that you probably make at least enough money to be on there. It probably costs a whole bunch of money to even sign up. And so he already knew that he was meeting a celebrity or somebody that was, and that's what I'm saying. If you can go on Raya, and I'm pretty sure that you can say, hey, I want this person to make this amount of money or this amount of money. So Simone Biles put, hey, I just need somebody that makes over $1 million, because his contract is just over $1 million a year. Simone Biles put, hey, anybody that makes over $1 million, I'm good. I know I got like 16 million. That's what they're saying my net worth is. It's probably higher than that. Usually the net worths are lower or higher. I mean, give or take. Simone Biles seems like a pretty smart person, so she probably has a little more than that. But she put a low number, assuming that he had to put all of his information in correctly. And when you go on dating apps, you can select. You can say, I want women that are between 25 and 45, or I want 18 to 25, or I want somebody that makes 250 plus, or I don't care how much they make. I don't want a smoker. I want somebody that does smoke. I want somebody that's fine with me having kids and all this other stuff. So you can put all these different criterias in. So Simone's criteria is met within what he is. So she was already fine in saying like, all right, I got 16 million. I'm fine with a guy that makes 2 million. It doesn't really make a difference at the end of the day. Do I want a guy that makes 20,000 a year? Well, no, I can't have a guy that's making $2,000 a year. But even then, I wouldn't be surprised. And you look at what's the woman's name that was with Usher and they got into the big thing. I'm forgetting her name. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Keke Palmer and her boyfriend, which I don't even know his name. Kind of similar with this guy. I didn't know who the hell he was until this interview and then, the whole Simone Biles thing. Now I know who Jonathan Owens is. I've never seen him play on the Green Bay Packers. I literally just watched him earlier today and was trying to find out who he was and couldn't find him. But yeah, so that's kind of like, that situation, and that goes to say what I was saying earlier, that the difference doesn't really matter. This guy's a millionaire. Simone Biles is a millionaire. And that's all it breaks down to. She has 20 million. He has 2 million. It doesn't make a difference at this point.
I never really paid attention to gymnastics, so it piqued my curiosity, So I'm like, okay, I'll see what's up. I swiped her, and it said we matched. So I'm just like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna see what's up. So I go do my workout, and I come back, and I get I had some likes on my Instagram, and I'm like,
God, I love that face. I love the face she makes at him. I know a lot of guys ain't never had that face or ever had that actual and it changes because a woman could give you that face, like I said, at the time, and then a month later, it's not that way. But to even get it at some point, it feels good. I'll be honest. When it's a natural thing and she's not faking it. This woman is not faking it at all.
I'm like, oh, this might be it. I'm like, okay.
Hey, that's the weird guy.
So
Yeah, okay, I got
I
it.
still waited. I'm like, man, I'm gonna wait till I, take a shower and everything. Then I come back to my phone.
We've seen most of this here.
On the app,
What's your story, man? Continue.
Really booked you. She did though.
Here's what you said.
I was fighting it.
Yeah, he was fighting it.
We least suspected, and we.
I have seen this going around, and I honestly had only watched 30 seconds of. Conveys to us that she has no problem with it if he. Oh God, it's so hard. The progressive Kimberly and the pragmatic Kimberly they really rub up against each other.
You can see the comments right here. I mean, you have to laugh to keep from crying. What else was she gonna do? That's not true. More context to solidify my embarrassment for her. Nah, atrocious. She better have a prenup. She's the reason that he feels that way too. But she does have a high tolerance for abuse, just saying. Yeah, you're hearing a lot of women, and I went through a lot of these Twitter pages and even this woman's comments. I grazed through them, and it's a lot of what you're seeing right here. Little D energy. It's a no for me, dog. These are all women talking, by the way. Man, these women are hurting right here, without a doubt.
In these discussions, because on one hand, it is fine for a woman to say, look, I'm in control of everything else in my life. I'm going to be in control of my romantic life. I see this man. He's cute to me. I'm going to go after him. I'm going to pursue him. I'm going to drive to him. I don't care if he doesn't know me or my achievements, even though.
That's what she should do. In the black community specifically, I don't know about the whole entire world. In the black community specifically, as far as I know, and if I'm wrong, correct me, it's 2.5 to 1 women to men. So basically, if you took all the men, and let's say there was 100,000 men, and you put them all in a group in a field, and you took all the black women and you put them all in a field, there would be 250,000 black women and 100,000 black men, and that would be it. So if they all got together, there'd be 50,000 black women without anyone. And that's assuming like the men aren't in jail, they're not, messing with other men, they're not already married, they don't already have a situation going on, they're MGTOW, they're staying away from women altogether, they're, passport bros or something like that. So, I mean, come on, man. It's crazy, like, to think that any of this is okay.
I am one of the most visible athletes and most decorated athletes in the world, because we're talking about 2020. We're not talking about 2010. We're talking about 2020. Okay? That's on one hand. On the other hand, you know that I do genuinely believe that it is.
Look, her being the most decorated athlete in the world doesn't matter. First off, she's not a better athlete than she is within the respective fields, because if he was in gymnastics, he'd be awful. And if she was in football, she'd be awful. But what does that even matter for? Like, that's something that doesn't even last. As athletes, I'll tell you that there's something called father time. And I guess in women's sports, you can say there's something that's called mother time. It's that, regardless of the fact, we can't be athletic at a high level throughout our whole lives. We usually have from like 15 to 35 at most where we're going to be at our athletic peak. And usually it's closer to like between 28 and 35. And then that's it. So that doesn't matter. Like, it matters from a point of, you're looking at it as the world, but between those two, why the hell does he care that she's the best athlete in the world? It's kind of like your kids. Like, think about it. Look at T.I.'s kid. We just seen him standing on business like last month, where he was going at T.I.'s throat as if this wasn't T.I. Now, the average person looks up to T.I. like he's a god, but his kid doesn't look at T.I. like he's a god. He's like, okay, that's my dad. That's T.I. Like, I see him all the time. He's not that special. So you don't want the person that you're with to put you on a pedestal and look at you like, oh my God, like you see a guy. And that's probably what most guys do. And he didn't do that. And that's what separated him from everyone else. And that's why she respects him in the way that she does. Because most guys are like, oh my God, you're Simone Biles. And they're all like fawning over her. And he's like, okay, what else you got to offer? So that's that.
Important for if you are a woman who dates men, who wants to marry a man, who wants to partner a man, I do genuinely believe that it is important for him, when you like him, for him to love you more than you love him. I do believe that, and I know it's progressive.
Why do you believe that? I'm honestly wondering why you believe that needs to be the case. I think it's the opposite for many reasons. I won't get into all of them here. I will talk about them in the future, but I believe it should be the opposite of that personally, from experience and just from personal experience and from what I've seen.
Oh, I just think the dynamic of men being the bad bitches, I just don't think that in this world, I it would make me uncomfortable. And so I think it's fine for men to feel themselves.
I mean, yeah, you're an average woman. I'm not coming at her specifically. I'm saying in general, like, most people are average. Most people aren't going to be above in looks, right? And that's part of the problem is like, everybody believes that they're at the same level as everybody else. And I do believe that we are not all equal. As human beings, we are equal. But as far as what we can do and what we can achieve, we're not equal. Some people are smarter than other people. Some people are more athletic. Some people are better looking. Just is what it is, and that's fine. But you need to stay within your level.
Fine for men to have high self-esteem. But when we're doing that, and I'm saying this as a woman in a year-long relationship with the Kappa, okay?
Yeah,
We're,
you in a
we're doing
relationship.
that. I'm so pretty. I'm so cute. Narcissism, vanity thing, and you're sitting next to Simone Biles. It's embarrassing.
I don't agree with it at all. Not at all. That's actually what she's so attracted to him because of. And there's really nothing you can say that's gonna change that. Like honestly. Um she's in a bubble right now. Like we spoke about earlier, everybody's in within their own bubble within life. And she's in a bubble right now in her relationship. And what y'all got going on is not affecting how she feels about him whatsoever. And the type of person he is and the type of person he conveys himself to be is something that she appreciates the most. And I'll say this, all of you women that's over here trying to, I would never go for that. I guarantee you want a piece of him. The majority of you, if not all. I might even go as far as to say all. Even you. You in a relationship right now, but if you wasn't, and probably even now that you are in a relationship, still want to know what's going on and why she's so head over heels for this guy. Don't act like you ain't. Hold on, she'll probably show some interest. Hold on, let's see.
Attractive man.
There you,
Like
bro. I had to play 1 second and she over here calling him an attractive man. Ain't you in a relationship right now? Ain't you in a relationship right now? I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying, like, come on, like, be realistic. And stop trying to act like you don't know what this woman's going through because you've went through it more than once.
Twitter, God never should have gave y'all light eyes.
Light eyes?
Light-eyed Negro is a terrorist.
Highlight of my eyes.
Quote me.
They're pretty dark.
A light-eyed Negro ain't gonna be no good 9 times out of 10 because there is just a level of fawning.
Fawning.
I think most men cannot handle that power. The other thing,
can't handle that power. So, I'm gonna be honest, like I've had yeah, I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone right now. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Know who she was. I do think that feels false, but okay, if he says
Hi.
Hi baby, how are you?
I'm good. All right, so yeah, like I don't know.
Didn't know who she was. Okay, but I just feel like the emphasis on it. It is not even just him not knowing who she was. It's like emphasizing the fact that he is attractive and he is desirable and
what's wrong with that? Like I said, I mean, I'm just honest, man. He's not a bad looking guy. I'm not gonna sit here and whatever. Like symmetry and all that stuff, his look. He's a good looking dude. Takes care of himself. Makes a whole bunch of money. Top 1%. Like, it's wrong for him to be confident within who he is. Why? Because he's with her and she makes more money than him, is more famous than him. Now he has to act like he has no accomplishments and just stop it.
He did not know her and she pursued him.
Like I said, I agree with that. I don't think he knew who she was. I agree with that. I don't think he did. There's a lot of athletes. I don't know who the hell they are.
And then the other men, the man who is generally like the reasonable one, I don't know his name, piping in to say, "So you're the catch," and is it fair to say Jonathan Owens didn't want Simone Biles? Why would you do that? What's the utility of that? What does that do? What does it do to try to belittle or humble or disrespect the most decorated gymnast of all time? An incredible.
You know what's funny about this whole situation, about the whole clip, the clip I showed and the clip that she's showing? Who's the one person that didn't say anything throughout the clip? All they did was smile. Simone Biles, the most famous person out of all of them, if you want to break it down. She's chilling. She's like, yo, like, I'm good with this. And that's where the problem comes in, because you're seeing all this gaslighting from this woman. And like I said, shout out to her. I don't got no problem with her. Um, but a lot of the comments and everything, like her audience, obviously, you're seeing this. And I'll read a couple of them. So he didn't know who she was, but if he actually telling the truth, but he didn't look her up before swiping, that's a little weird. A light-eyed Negro is a terrorist. I mean, okay, light-eyed. My ex-husband is a Kappa, worst mistake of my life, and he pursued me. There's also, oh, that was what I was talking about. Yeah, there's also a lot of tweets of him talking about the 2012 gymnastics. He knew who she was back then. I don't think Simone Biles wasn't famous. Gymnasts get famous like when they're like 15, 16 years old. So Simone Biles is probably, I think, didn't we just look at her age? She's like 22. Um, so she made a lot of her fame like in like 2019, 2020. She was like 17. So, I mean, she rose to fame extremely fast and her window is very short. She's probably got like maybe one more run, two more runs in her, and then it's over with. By the time she's like 29, she's cooked. So, no, it is what it is.
Accomplished, very visible, powerful, famous, rich woman who has had to work tooth and nail to
So is
get her
he.
shit. What does that do? The other thing that this makes me.
So has he. He had to work to make it to the NFL. I know in basketball, in the NBA, there's only 450 players in the NBA at any given time. You got guys come up from the G League, come down. There's 450 spots out of the entire world. I would figure the NFL is probably less. No, it's probably more. They have way more people. But I'm still saying it's still probably like 1,000 people in the NFL total. You don't think he had to work his tail off to make it to an NFL roster? They're equal as far as their accomplishments. There's just a difference in money and maybe some fame and stuff, but they're in different sports, so it's hard to really um, say. It's hard to say like which one is harder to get fame in. I would probably say the NFL in this situation because you're on a team. So you not only have to be the best in the NFL, but you also have to be the best on your team. In gymnastics, you just need to be the best. And then you're going to be sharing that with a lot of other, gymnasts. But if you win, you're going to be the best in gymnastics. You can win on an NFL team and still not be the most famous on your team, no matter how much you put in. Like Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins are probably on the same level as far as their popularity, even though Justin Jefferson is probably better than Kirk Cousins overall. But he's not though, because he needs Kirk Cousins to be successful because he passed him the ball. So you really can't you can't compare the two, is what I'm saying.
Think of is I say all the time that people generally have are so lost with regard to power relations because when I see people say, Well, if the genders were flipped, nobody would say anything. Well, because we live in a patriarchy. Because we
If the genders were flipped, yeah, it would be worse than this, without a doubt. Because, like I said, there's so right now you got like the feminists and the women coming out, and they have a louder voice than a lot of the men that are in like the red pill and the manosphere, which I'm not a part of either side because I think they're both ridiculous overall. But the men would come out, yeah, if it was the opposite of this, and they would break it down from their perspective. So like however you look at it, you got terrorism on both sides.
live in a misogynistic society because we
Misogynistic society? How? Let me see if she expounds on that or if she just tries to move away from it really quick.
still live in a world where no matter what choice, romantic choice you make as a black woman, whether it
Black
is
woman.
dating up, dating down, dating laterally, dating an athlete, dating whoever, people are going to have shit to say. The
True.
impact on Simone is going to be different. It's going to be outsized. It's going to make her the subject of all of this discussion and all of this critique. That
I would argue to say that we're in a misandrous society, and this is why. And I mean this from a public standpoint, not from behind closed doors. Behind closed doors, I have no idea what's going on because it's private and it's behind closed doors. I'll just say that women have a bigger voice in the public than men do as far as how they're able to get things across. Because, like I said, women are the more social creatures. So they are better at being social, and men aren't. And you see a lot of these movements where women are able to say whatever they want to, but when a man says something like that, they get canceled. And you're seeing it all the time where women are able to say whatever they want about men, but if men say anything if men say anything derogatory about women, they get annihilated and they get basically exiled from society to the point where it even becomes criminal. And women don't usually deal with things criminally when they, make accusations or allegations. The only time it really happens is when it's woman on woman. When you look at maybe like a Tasha K versus Cardi B, where, that was woman on woman. But if Cardi B was a man, she never would have won that. He never would have won that settlement. So you want to talk about flipping genders? Take Tasha K and Cardi B, and then make Cardi B Carl B. Let's call him Carl B. And then go through that whole lawsuit. I guarantee Carl B wouldn't have won that judgment against against Tasha K. There's no way it would have happened. So I'm calling cap on the whole. Like we might have before. I don't disagree. Back in the day, yeah, it might have been a misogynist society, but I think now in 2020, in the 2020s, I think it's more misandrous because women annihilate men and they say some of the worst things I've ever heard about men. And men really don't have a springboard or a platform to get off what they want to say. And even when they do, they usually don't go that hard. Like, and again, I can speak from personal experience. I've had women say some terrible things about me, and I've just never really went back with that same veracity and force when I know I could have, when I know I got a full magazine ready to roast, and I just don't even go there because it's like I usually am the bigger person in that situation, and that's why I disagree with that without going into extreme detail.
the reason why talking about, oh, well, what if the genders were flipped makes no fucking sense. It's really difficult to deal with those fucking smooth brained people. Okay? Like,
Smooth man, what does that mean?
join us, join us in this world. Join us in these power relations. Join us in these gender relations, because that is irrelevant. And that, and then we have to, talk about, oh yeah, it does. It comes, the desirability. When I discuss these things, my critique comes from
See, this is where, and I'm using her generally. I'm not attacking her specifically because she's echoing what the majority is saying. So when I'm talking about what she's saying, it's not attacking her. It's the majority of, you know, all these comments online without me going through a whole list of comments. And you can see it right here on the side. These are all her comments that are active on her live or whatever she's got going on. And you can look at all the Twitter comments and stuff. I'm pretty sure if you're watching this story and you're interested in it, you've seen all the comments. I'm not necessarily attacking her, okay? So I just want to make that perfectly clear. But like, listen to this last part.
Gender relations, because that is irrelevant. And that, and then we have to, talk about, oh yeah, it does. It comes, the desirability stuff and the beauty stuff, and back to the conversation about Simone Biles and her hair and her being dark skinned, and
none of that came up with what they were talking about. And you, in this exact same video, just minutes earlier, were talking about fawning over the guy because he has green eyes and hazel eyes and light colored eyes and all that. And saying, oh, he's, really attractive and he's pretty. Even though you're in a year relationship, you're still talking about this other guy. Like, I don't understand why now, literally minutes later, you're talking about her hair and, her skin color and all that stuff. I don't really think it matters. Like, and again, I talk about personal experience within a lot of this because I've dated women that were all different shades and been in relationships with women that were all different shades. I think they're all beautiful within their own right. I don't really look at it as if, a woman can only be beautiful if he's this color or that color. But you just got done saying that, guys with light colored eyes are amazingly incredible and all that. You didn't say that about the dark skinned brothers. Like, what's going on? I ain't got no light eyes, so I'm feeling like I'm being a little discriminated against. It's a little misandrous for you to say that. I don't know.
where my critique comes from, and generally, when I discuss these things, my critique comes from
Where's it come from?
the viewpoint of who is helped in this scenario and who is harmed. What power relations does this uphold? What power relations does it maintain? And do those power relations reproduce marginalization? I was never
Marginalization? What are you talking about?
Jonathan and Simone to be my black love representation. So
of course not.
I'm not even.
But you should though.
Kimberly's got a man.
Oh, okay, all right. She got anything else to say? We're gonna move on from this. This didn't really come to dark skin.
Not fun and games. Don't laugh with other people at my expense.
It's not what happened.
Don't you fucking dare. Now that's just
Watch
me.
your language.
That's just me. Defend.
You're a little too angry.
Playing me.
He didn't play her at all.
Thing that this makes me think of. The difficulties of finding a good partner when you are super visible. Everybody says, oh, well, the answer is just don't date down. Is that the answer?
You're talking about being super visible. Like, what does that matter for? Like, that's you being visible only matters when you're in public. The majority of your life is not spent in public. It doesn't matter how visible you are to that degree. And that's why I really disagree with the red pill and the blue pill, the feminists and all of that. It's just like, y'all put too much emphasis on what everybody else thinks about a relationship. And that's what Simone Biles is not doing. Let's see if there's anything else.
The answer is always fun. In the discourse.
Yeah, I'm done. I can't listen to any more of this. Shout out to her though. She was a good sport. What do I have here? I don't think I need to look at that. Do I have anything else on this? Unmarried women. I was looking at some statistics. 5 things to know about Simone Biles' boyfriend. Oh, this is in 2021. This is before they were married. All right, this might be interesting. 5 things to know. He plays for the Houston Texans. Now he plays for the Green Bay Packers. He's a proud dog dad. Okay. She looks like she's like 5 feet, and he looks like he's like 6 feet. He loves showing off his girlfriend. Uh-oh. It's kind of going against what everybody's saying, though. I mean, so we were told that he doesn't, care about her or big her up in any type of way. This from 2021, before all this 2 years before all of this firestorm about the relationship happened, he loves sharing off his girlfriend. Got the hottest chick in the game wearing my chain. Now, I don't know. Has the pressure got to him over time and he's became jealous of her? I mean, it's possible, but I doubt it. The truth is that if they broke up, I'm not so sure that he would be the one losing in this situation. I don't know who would lose. Maybe neither one of them, but I would probably lean more towards her. Let's see. Values working out after suffering. He values working out after suffering an injury. That's how I ended up really changing my life. After I tore my ACL the first time, I was like, you know what? I gotta really focus and be better. And I became better after that. So I can agree with that. He is close to his family. Close to his family. What about her family? All right, well, that was that. That was from 2021, so that was a while ago. And we'll show a little bit of their stuff. This is him proposing. He got down on one knee. On one knee, almost still the same height as Simone. That's funny. Biles 24. Texan safety Owens 26. I've been dating for nearly 2 years. They got engaged. He don't have to get married to her. I'm just saying, damn, she's like half the size of him. Like, look at this. Hold on, let me go. Look at this. I don't care how much money. Hey, look, the money don't matter, man. Y'all just got to realize that. I know it's hard for just normal people to understand it, and we're all normal. That's kind of been my message, but I'm just saying, when you get somebody that you really rock with, the money just doesn't matter, man. It truly doesn't. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them, without a doubt. This is what I want to get to. So, this was the more recent post that she made. And you can see right here, Simone Biles, are we done yet? Because she's hearing all the back and forth and people are probably in her comments. Let's actually look at some of the comments real quick and see what we got. See if we can react to a couple of those comments. We're about to move on to Omi and a Hellcat shortly here. I think I said pretty much everything I could say about this. I'm rooting for you both, but you should have sat this one out. I don't get that. You love your baby and still cheapened her by saying you are the catch. Catch of what exactly? I'm not even going to click on her profile photo because they might they might categorize my stream as like horror or something like that. If I get a close up of her face. Let me see. Got to be adding fuel to the fire. I need to see you in the end zone on Sunday. Is he on offense? I thought he was a cornerback. I could be wrong. Success. W. Blackman. Misery loves company. They just jealous of what both y'all got. Why is she mad at us? You're the one that belittled her. She got 14 million on her tweet compared to 9 million for him. Yeah, case closed on who the catch is. This is the problem. She got 14 million views on her tweet. Hold on, let me pull this up. This is what I want to highlight right here. This is a perfect example of why everything is messed up. She got 14 million views on her tweet compared to 1.9 million for him. LOL, yeah. Case closed on who the catch is. Let me get out of this real quick, because we're about to move on to Omi and a Hellcat. People. Why does a view matter in the overall grand scheme of things? Why? It's more money in your pocket. So what? Look, I always got to relate things to my personal experience, because that's what separates us YouTubers from other YouTubers. We can all sit here and just talk about stories and go through the news. We can do that. But when we give our personal experience and our personal things that we went through, then we can really like put ourselves in a different situation as far as or relate to people in a different way where they can understand what's going on. And I'll just tell you from my personal experience, I've had women that have been with men that have millions of dollars. I don't have millions of dollars. I may never get millions of dollars, or I may. It's possible. I don't really care as far as that goes. Personally, if I get there, fine. If I don't, fine. It's not going to change anything about the way that I am or how my life is going to turn out. I promise you it's not. I've had women that have literally told me and demonstrated firsthand with action that they would rather take all the money from their millionaire boyfriend and or husband that they're with and have that with me. I'm serious. Like this is a real thing. Now, are they lying to me? I doubt it. There's nothing that really incentivizes them to do that or incentivizes them to even communicate with me in the first place. And a lot of you won't really understand unless you really get to know me, on a personal level and understand everything that I can bring to a relationship that has nothing to do with money whatsoever. And that's where a lot of the problem comes in. When you got people like this person that's saying she got 14 million views compared to 1.9 for him. Yeah, who is the catch? She's not thinking like that. You're thinking like that because you don't understand what this man is to her behind closed doors. You're looking at it from, he's got to be like just head over heels for her like I am because she's Simone Biles. He doesn't look at her like she's Simone Biles, the gymnast. He looks at her like she's Simone Biles. Like, he's going to care about her and love her the same way if she wasn't a millionaire and popular. Well, I would hope so, at least. I'm figuring that's how it should be. It's the same reason why, a lot of men can be very, very well off and be with a woman that was working at, the McDonald's drive-thru. And usually if a woman pulls up to the McDonald's drive-thru and she's in a Mercedes, she's a lot of times not gonna take that man from the McDonald's drive-through. But if you just have a little bit as a man, right? And you don't have to have more than a woman. You just have to be content within yourself. You can't be like a complete bum, but that's a whole different that's like that's like negative, right? But if you're just okay, you know what you're doing, you can be with a woman that's a millionaire. But a lot of times, like, and lastly on this point is like it often comes down to the people that are around the woman and how she's easily influenced. They sit there and tell you like, oh, that man don't deserve you, this and this, and it really like destroys the relationship. And then she ends up giving that man up, and then she is disappointed later on. And she might end up with like a guy that has more money and more millions, but the spark isn't there. You can't respect somebody just based off of what they make. You can't. It just doesn't work. And I explain a lot of this dynamic within like the music that I do and different things like that. And you know, a lot of people will never really understand it. So it's really hard to explain. And that's why I'm having a hard time putting it into the words, because it's more of a feeling and it's more of a thing that happens rather than something that you can understand just by me, you know, putting a whole bunch of words together. But shout out to Simone Biles. Shout out to Jonathan Owens. I wish them two the best. And I'm glad that Simone is sticking up for her man. And Jonathan is confident within who he is. And I would say if anybody has the best opportunity to stay together long term, it's those two rather than most of the relationships that I see, because the dynamic of their relationship is exactly how it should be, in my opinion. How their relationship is how it should be, in my opinion. How most relationships should be, or if not all. What's my perspective on all of this? Everything that we talked about so far. My perspective is this. I think we all need to realize what's most important within our lives. We get caught up too much in what everybody else thinks. It's always about the perception of things and not how we feel. We let other people feel for us. We let other people feel for us, and that's the problem. Stop letting people feel for you and feel for yourself. You'll have people that say, hey, that guy's way better than him. He's got a bag. He wears all this nice stuff. He's got a nice car. He's got this, and this. The truth is that our cars are both going to get us to the same destination. Now, I ain't gonna lie. One's got, nicer leather. One's got synthetic leather. One's got genuine leather. All right, that's the difference. One's got, well, nowadays, everybody should have a nice touchscreen in their vehicle. But it's just tough, guys, because in team, not just guys, but women as well. It's just tough team, because for me, I just feel like we're letting social media control us as a people, and it's really hurting our relationships, and we're ending up regretting things after the fact, and it's hard to see it in real time. And that's why I really want everybody to think and just be a little more objective with how they pursue relationships. Please, because I want to see the best for all of y'all team. I truly do. A team is only as good as their leader. And as me being the leader of the undirected team, I want the best for all of y'all, genuinely and truly. This has nothing to do with women or men. This has nothing to do with male or female, however you want to identify. It doesn't. It doesn't. It has to do with the corporations and the people that are surrounding you and trying to bring you down because they're down. We can't all be successful. We can't all have great things within life. And the people that know that they can't have it try to pull the people down that do have the opportunity to have it rather than enjoying their success. They just don't. And that's, I think, where, we're at a deficit and a shortfall as people. I really just want to see everybody, be the best they can as best as they can. Um, is it going to get better? Not for the majority, but for some of us it can. And that's who I'm speaking to right now. So, as far as Jonathan Owens and Simone Biles, or Jonathan Biles and Simone Biles, that might be the better way to say it. and Omi and the Hellcat and Mimi, stay together. And Omi and the Hellcat and Mimi, get back together. Mimi, you don't have to be embarrassed because Omi and the Hellcat slept with 100 women. And even if he cheats on you again after he gets out of prison or he has sex with another woman, it doesn't mean that he doesn't love you in the way that he expresses that he does. I promise you that's not the case. This is from personal experience and just knowing what's going on when there's nobody around, when I'm looking myself in the mirror. I've been through this. I've put it out there to the public through my music and talked about the things that I've done that were wrong and made adjustments to try to be better after the fact. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to do things that are going to hurt us and hurt the people that are close to us. It's going to happen. It's okay. It's not something that you need to destroy or compromise your entire life over, because there's a good chance that you're never going to get that same. It's 100% chance, Mimi, that you're never going to get another Omar, Jonathan, Simone. It's 100% chance that you're never going to get another Jonathan or Simone. The one thing I will say about people is that we are one to one. The women that I've been in relationships with, I will never get another one to one of them. They all have different variations to the point where I like certain things that they do, and I wish that I had certain things that the other woman did that the other woman doesn't do. You're never going to get perfect. But at some point, you have to be okay with what you have and understand that at some point it can only get worse. It won't get better. 80% is better than taking a chance for 100% and ending up with 30%. That's what I'm trying to say. Be happy with your 80% and enjoy it. And don't say, I'm better off alone. I don't need no one. You do. We all need somebody. We're better off together than we are alone. I can look at relationships with my own mother and understand that she might want another son. I might not be the best son out there, but I know I am the best son for her. And I would never want her to dismiss me or get rid of me as a son just because she feels like she can get a better one out there. There's no one that's going to be a better son than my mom. Even though I'm not 100%, I'm still the best son that she's ever going to have. And yeah, I'm taking shots at my other brothers. Period. I'm the best son our mom has. Say something. My other two brothers. Me, yeah. I know. I ain't mean to take shots at them, but that's just kind of how it came out. Because I'm doing this like, all in the moment. And this is just true testimony from me, Dot Cell, the undirected guy. Team, I love you. I appreciate y'all. And I want us to grow together. I hope that there was things that helped y'all throughout this extremely long stream. And it betters us in one way or another. And we learn from other people's mistakes and what they went through so we don't have to go through it. I think I got a soundbite for this. What do we got?
Goodbye.
That doesn't fit, man.
Goodbye.
That goodbye doesn't fit. I was trying to be like more like goodbye. But we're gonna rock with this one. Dot sell out.
Goodbye.